There are definitely pros and cons in university in America. Um, as a Korean, I got used to just listening to lecture, writing down whatever the professors are saying. But at first, it was a really struggle that I have to do the discussion, writing a paper. But later, I realized that really helped me in teaching me how to study and how to focus on what I'm doing. So at first, it was a struggle, but later it turns out to cons. Just like other Korean kids, I didn't really have any idea what I want to do in the future. But my mom sent me to America as an exchange student when I was 15. At the time, I got sick. The weather was very cold in Michigan. So I got sick one day, and my host mom took me to the urgent care. At the time, I barely know how to introduce myself and just do the basic conversation. But at the clinic, the nurse and the doctors really try their best to explain me what's going on and ask me what the symptoms are. And that was very impressive to me because, you know, me as a foreigner, I don't know what was going on. So I got nervous, but they really trying to make me feel better. So that makes me decide to be a nurse, and that was a big motivation. I'm very satisfied and it's very rewarding. Especially when the patient gets better and they go home and they really appreciate it. That's a big thing for me, like that I know I played a key role in their healing process. Yeah. Yes, I realized at the hospital a lot of people are suffering from mental illnesses, just simply like anxiety, depression, or sometimes we see the patient with the schizophrenia or suicidal ideation. That was something that I didn't really see before I become a nurse because I just didn't have opportunity. And I saw a lot of people just struggle with their daily lives or alcoholic, whatever other mental illnesses. So that was very eye-opening experience while I was working at the hospital. So I was like, maybe I can help those people. And especially as an immigrant, I heard a lot of immigrants suffer a lot of mental illnesses just because I heard like going to overseas and living there is kind of like big PTSD for many people. So me as a Korean speaker, I heard in Georgia, the third most spoken language is Korean. So I want to help like other immigration. Me as an immigration, I know the struggles. So I want to be a psych nurse practitioner so I can help other people who is going through difficult times in their lives. Travel nurse, I started during COVID because the pay was crazy. That's my honest opinion. Some people said, oh, I wanted to experience so many different stuff. But to me, it was because of the money. At the time, I was working 36 hours per week, which is 3 days working, and I was making over $4,000, which is a lot. So that makes me get out of my previous hospital and jump into the travel nursing. So travel nursing is you working as a contractor, so you're not belong to the hospital, but you're belong to the agency. So you can pick the hospital or the specialty, whatever you're getting used to, but you have to work more than 50 miles away from where you're living. So that's a bit a long distance, but it's doable. So I worked there 13 weeks. The best thing is you're getting paid every week, which is the best, and you're getting stipend, which is your housing and the meal and your phones. It's depending on the city where you're going, but Atlanta is like $1,100 per week, but that's not taxable, so you're getting everything. On the top of it, you also get an hourly rate. So that's how the travel nurse works. After 13 weeks, you can extend. It's depending on the manager and depending on the hospital situation. Mostly from my experience, I always get extension offer. So in that case, you just keep working there up to 1 year. After 1 year, you're becoming on residence. In that case, now they're taxing your stipend. So technically, you have to go to the other hospital. So I worked like 4 different major hospitals near Atlanta. And it was a really good experience because now I feel like I can work anywhere. And now I know how to use like 4 different charting system, like 2 different medication machine, all that stuff. So it's a really good experience because you meet a lot of different people, you learn from other people's, and you just learn how to communicate, how to ask questions, and how to learn. So it's a really good experience, not just because of the money, but for your career as well. I just wanted to remember all my good memories that I had when I was an exchange student. At the time I was 15, and actually I started my blog after I come back from Korea. So after I come back from Korea, I didn't go back to school, but I chose to take GED because I don't know, it's just like too much to go back to school with the kids who is 1 year younger than me, because the age is big thing in Korea, right? So at the time I was studying on my own, and I have some spare time, and I wanted to write down everything that I experienced so I can remember for the future. So that's how I start my blog. And then the later, it's so fun to experience all different culture, and I hope some other people also could experience through my blog. That's the reason that I start my blog. I did, you can do it.